Can you hear that? This is exactly what is happening in my mind most of the time with all the thoughts. Or it sounds more like this. Annoying, isn't it? I can't turn off the sound in my head. Actually, I don't really want to. As David Allen said, your mind is for having ideas, not holding them. One thing that could make the situation better was writing things down. I tried and it worked, but then I couldn't stop. I started writing everywhere, like on paper, on notebooks, on sticky notes, my phone, and then notes appeared on my whiteboard, mirrors, windows, my hands. Yeah, I ended up in the chaos of my own notes. Yeah, my brain felt better, definitely, but I had the chaos all around me with all the thoughts and ideas. The point with ideas is that as you start writing them down, they're not diminishing in size. They're just getting more structured and less buzzed, but you still get lots of ideas and thoughts. To solve this problem, I've decided to collect everything in one place on the pieces of paper that are attached to each other so I won't lose a thing. And this is what I call journaling. My name is Dera and this is my life. At the beginning of 2020, I bought a planner, hoping it's gonna manage my time, but actually my planner turned out to be a journal, which I'm kind of excited about. Yes, I needed to glue some pages because they were useless now on, but instead of the manager, I got a very, very good friend. This thing knows me better than a lot of people. Here is written, my journal is cooler than your phone. Actually, I use my journal more than my phone. So you are here to know how I journal? Then let's go. What do I use for journaling? Some essential stuff is of course my journal. This is my favorite one. I bought another Moleskine exactly the same just because it suits me well. The most obvious requirement for me is to have plain pages, no dots, no lines. Thank you so much. I can do everything on my own. Yes, then I need my magic wand, the black gel pen, especially if it's thin. You know, it looks so much more accurate, all the writing, everything. I can't imagine my journaling without sticky notes. It's easy to move things around with them. So yeah, and they come in all these different sizes and shapes and colors, some additional stuff. Sometimes I would use colorful pens, tape. I love masking tape. It looks super cool, especially with the pages that are like yellowish. Photos, Polaroid photos, correction pen, glue stick, and paper bookmarks. The paper ones because you can write on them. I sit down with my water, with my journal, and straight away I start writing. I got everything out of my head. All the ideas, all the thoughts go here. Especially on the days when I'm worried, when I feel anxious, I'll sit with the journal. Sometimes you don't feel like writing, but as you start, you see how many things are hiding under the surface. Just seeing your ideas on the paper, it gives you the fresh look, gives you the fresh start and the point from which you can work, or the point that you can come back to reflect. I usually journal twice in a day, once in the morning and once in the evening, and this is the different parts of the same journaling practice I worked over time. I do different things in the morning, in the evening, and if you're interested in that, I'm going to film a separate video on my two-step method for journaling. What do I do in the morning, what do I do in the evening, and how I use my journal for creativity. If you're interested, stay tuned. But now we're talking about the simpler way to do this. Here I just writing down things. I'm collecting different notes from my phone, from my sticky notes. I really like to write down information throughout days, weeks, and then collect everything in the journal. I use my journal mainly for everything, for a diary, for dream diary, morning pages, 5-minute journal. I really like to use it for destination thing. The reflection with journaling becomes so much easier. The reflection of your inner things, your mind, because it's hard to see lots of things that are not touchable, visible. When you got fit, you can see it on your body, but when you got
more mentally strong, how do you measure this? And this is how you can measure all these invisible things. I remember once I was like, what did I do like 2 weeks ago? Why did I felt so much better than now? And I flipped back, looked what I was journaling. I was scripting. This is like creating future memories. And this thing brought me a lot of peace and energy and motivation. And I repeated this and it worked. So reflection is super duper easy with this kind of thing. And yeah, I can see the improvement. I can see the shifts. Lots of invisible stuff became visible. My favorite little things that I do in my journal, like layouts, ideas. I found for me the most comfortable way to add additional information is with gray pen. With the gray pen, additional information does not draw too much attention, not like screaming with bright colors. At the same time, if I need to emphasize something very important, I would use like the red pen. Then it looks all put together when it's just like two colors, not too vivid, but not too plain. At some point I was using quite a lot of lists. They're very structured, they're very practical, but for creative ideas I found that mind maps are better. Basically what I do, I write down the title in the middle, then I create bubbles all around it, all the things I can think of, usually clockwise, so it's more organized than like classical one. And then I would add more bubbles for like smaller ideas or some more specific ones. Visually it looks more attractive to me and it's easier to work on them. Okay, sticky notes. Basically I would write everything on sticky notes first if I'm not really sure on the ideas, and then I would play around with it, move it. I love to use stickers as reminders because they're so vivid and you're just like going through something and then you're like, oh yeah, sure. Plus I don't need a draft. This is a huge thing because I used to have a draft book, which was kind of messy. Usually I would use sticky notes if I need to add some information, any comment, maybe some brand new idea came to my mind and I want to remember it. And it allows me to keep all the topics together so I don't need to break them apart and all the needed information is at one place. Right now I do exactly the same thing with my exam preparation, and it helps to not stress out about running out of space or using too much space with one topic. So yeah, I hope now you understand a little bit clearer how I journal.
Hey there. As I was editing, I realized that this video is way too massive. So I decided to divide it into 2 parts. The second part with my tips and tricks coming soon. Anyway, I hope you liked and enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for watching and see you very, very soon. Wait a second, there are bloopers.
They come in all the different sipes? Is that sipes? They come in all different sizes. Yeah, sure. Oh, my legs hurt. With a thin air, with a thin what? Papers. It's not paper. What the heck? La la la.